Cocking with a hot pen. You can't kill it with this glove, it will not fit. Evidence will not stick. Rapping with a self-respecting southerner. So bro, what's in your pot? Those are not grits. Spit bars, I stand behind mine. Sentences I serve, maximize guidelines. My lawyer can't give me his advice when he's beast that I murder carry mandatory minimums of life. Yikes. In case you didn't get the point, we spit bars. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of The Maximum Sentence, where there's conviction behind the bars. I'm your man, AJ Throwback. Great to be here with you on another awesome. Well, actually, this is probably the only time I've done this on a Monday. I was supposed to do it yesterday, but I had some little personal issues. I ain't gonna, get too TMI on y'all, but had to make sure I, wasn't having any accidents. Was just put it like that. You know what I mean? But I appreciate everybody for your patience and for tapping in with me on a Monday. Sometimes we got to do these things when we got to do them. You know what I'm saying? But I appreciate everybody who is watching on YouTube, and I appreciate everybody who's watching on Instagram. Shout out to Dope Female Trainer on the check-in and P31 Rose Glow on the check-in on Instagram. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. I just want to make sure I send this joint out to a few folks. Y'all bear with me 1 second, but I appreciate everybody for tapping in this evening for the final conversation about what can $10 get me, which y'all can, okay. It's pausing on Instagram. You know what I'm saying? My apologies, ladies and gentlemen. Just bear with me 1 second. Just trying to send this out to some folks so we can get some more people in here and have this great conversation. But I appreciate everybody for tuning in. You could be anywhere in the world, but you decided to be here with me this evening. Definitely appreciate everybody for your continued support. Wow. And thank you so much, Anonymous Touch, my sis Anonymous Touch, on a check-in on Instagram. I don't know what's going on with the connection today on Instagram. You know what I'm saying? If you have any problems on Instagram, you can definitely feel free to join me on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? My YouTube channel is AJ Throwback 928. But yes, let's go ahead and get into it. We're going to get into this discussion, the final discussion. We had previous... Said it's super glitching. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Instagram tonight. You know what I'm saying? I do my best to try to, not have these glitching issues, but, whatever reason, Instagram just wants to act up lately, especially, I try to do it when nobody else is, on the internet and all of that stuff. But I appreciate everybody for your patience and for tuning in. Definitely appreciate you. OG the Queen, thank you so much for tuning in. Lady Crawley, thank you for tuning in. Dope Female Trainer, I don't know if you are still on here, but the reason I didn't accept the live request is because one, this platform isn't really set up for that. And then two, if I bring you in on a live request, it knocks out the music. It's something with the IRA Extreme, how they do the technology. Whereas if I bring somebody in, it knocks out the music, and the music is a huge part of what makes this platform. So, we could definitely have another discussion on another day. I will be doing Flowers Friday this upcoming week. So definitely feel free to tap in this week for that. But anyway, once again, I appreciate everybody for tuning in on YouTube and on Instagram. Let's go ahead and get into it. The final verse of What Can $10 Get Me? This is also going to be the final episode this year in 2022 that I discuss any of my music. So definitely excited for this upcoming episode. Let's get into it. I'm gonna go ahead and play the third verse for y'all, and then we're gonna go ahead and break down some bars. I'm not gonna waste too much time. Let's get to it.
$10 get you a unicorn poncho, nail art rock show, ice rocket pop mode, plus giant micro, shaped like a bed bug, sperm cell, maggot chicken pox mode. What can $10 get you? Stickers, zombie family car to be specific. Pics in the shape of a dot or a holiday smash hit. Sniffing mistletoes in your writtens, that's ridiculous. This is the consignment. One of a kind, North Star sewing, need a telescope to find this. Before a small piece of cheese, I take a trap beat. When I done already left him twice in his track meet. I'm not against being thrifty, but ninjas being stingy, saying, bruh, I need it quickly. Got the nerve to be picky, paying only $3.50. Not to mention that the missus wanna kiss me, but I'm busy and she's pissed me. And I ain't getting paid, she done had enough. Now the mathematics man still trying to add it up. Not with half of these acts, seen her only ever bucks. shouldn't equal out to zero when you carry more than one. Dollars to photographers, engineers, barkeeps, and club promoters. Some new Jordans, but nobody showing nothing. I mean, a 10 would have been as cool. Ain't worth the table scraps, dog. Guess I've been a fool. It's my fault, should've told him how to treat me. Gave it to him cheap, said I didn't really cheat me. Dr. King Steve's turn a cheek, let him beat me. But no more, you can't even sneak peek my weak beat. No, sir. I'm with a trade or some bartering, but shouldn't have to wave any place for the offering. By the way, you don't get the name what the offer is. Take it and respect it or you need not remain where my office is. I'm a business, man, don't offend this. Man with intentions to pass on them dividends, but ask for some benefits. But man, when you're missing from the plans that your signature is cash, I'm illiterate. Not a desperate man like the rest in the land, man. Press for that secondhand mess. Just to show you I don't mean to be a rude dog. What can $10 get? Well, I got a real mean kazoo, dog.
Yes, sir. So that is the final verse of What Can $10 Get Me, which is track number 5 on my EP, The Late Bloomer 2, which if you don't already have, please make sure that you go ahead and get that. You can get that if you want to stream it. If you're a streaming person, that's perfectly fine. You can go to all digital streaming platforms except Spotify and stream the heck out of that. Run them numbers up a little bit more for a brother. I definitely appreciate it. If you're a buy-in person, definitely make sure that you go to my website, which is BAMMLLC.net. Once again, that's BAMMLLC.net. Also, you can go to my website, my Bandcamp page, which is ajthrowback.bandcamp.com. Once again, that's ajthrowback.bandcamp.com. There you can get 4 bonus tracks that you can't get anywhere else. So you're not going to be able to get it even on my website. Bandcamp, they have it set up really well that when you release an album, you can put bonus tracks with it. So that's why it's on Bandcamp versus my website or any other place. You got to put an exclusive somewhere and give people a little bit of incentive to go ahead and support. But definitely appreciate everybody for tuning in. Shout out to my man, Lab Coat Meerkat, on the check-in on Instagram. Also, my brother, Really Though DMV, on the check-in on Instagram as well. OG Queen said, for real though, just hopped in right quick to show love, but can't stay. I will definitely try to catch y'all tomorrow on R2BB. Thank you so much, my sister, for supporting. And yes, everybody who's watching, definitely make sure that y'all tune in tomorrow for an episode of the Return to Black Broadway podcast hosted by yours truly, along with Raggedy and Peoples. We'll be talking to Davey Fresh about his upcoming album, Richmond Highway, among many things. So definitely appreciate the love and support. And shout out to my big bro watching on YouTube, my man Lonnie Wiggins, on the check-in. I was supposed to show his comment, but boom, appreciate you for tapping in. Said, all right, now always appreciate the love and support. All right, so let's go ahead and get into some of these bars. And shout out to my brother DJ Shane on the check-in on Instagram. So I'm gonna fast forward a little bit because I already kind of sort of explained like the first 8 bars of each verse, whereas like basically I found this website that had all of these little trinkets, these dumb little trinkets that you could get for $10 or less. So that explains the first 8 bars. So I'm gonna fast forward a little bit to the part where I say, before a small piece of cheese, they'll take a trap beat, when I done already lapped them twice in this track meet. So one of the biggest reasons why I said that is because one of the trends that I started noticing as a producer is a lot of people, and it's no knock, you know, like you like the type of beats you like, but I also noticed how a lot of times the type of beats that people will go for would also be the type of beats that, one, everybody's making something that sounds like it, and 2, they want it cheap. You know what I'm saying? That's really the point of this whole song. What can $10 get me? People undercutting the market so they can get more people to buy their beats, but a lot of times it's really like a factory. They don't put any love into it. They don't put any any soul into whatever they're doing. It's like an assembly line. And so a lot of times when you pay for a beat that's real cheap, you're gonna get what you pay for. And I'm of the thought that no matter how much you pay, you're gonna get what you pay for, particularly if you're dealing with somebody who's worth their weight in melanin. I feel like if you're gonna pay cheap, you're gonna get cheap. I feel like if you're gonna pay more, you're going to get more, or at least you should get more, and you should demand more if you're spending a certain amount of money. But if you're not, then hey, you get what you pay for. But at the end of the day, you know, and it's no knock on anybody who makes trap beats. Let me put that out there first and foremost, because I like a lot of trap stuff. But unfortunately, what I notice is that most of the people who sell their beats cheap are the trap people. You know what I'm saying? The people that make the trap beats. And a lot of times people would be more willing to spend that little amount of money instead of spending with me, especially some people that had been spending with me, you know, and I get it. A lot of times it's really expensive to be an artist, and sometimes you got to do what you got to do in order to put a product out there. But to me, it's like, okay, do you want to put a product for the sake of putting a product out there, or do you want to put your best possible product out there with the best possible music? Also, to that point, a lot of times when you get these people who are like leasing, because more than likely, like they're leasing their beats for that little bit amount of money. Like if you are doing exclusive agreements with people for $10, $25, it's like, bro, you are really selling yourself short, and you're selling the market short. But my thing is, I know for myself, I can't speak for anybody else, but I feel like most people who charge a certain amount of money for their production work, they're going to they're going to really produce the track. It's not just a thing whereas, okay, you're going to buy this beat and like, you're not going to hear from me again. At least a producer worth his or her weight in melanin, that's how they're going to move. For me, I'm like, look, if I'm going to charge you X amount of dollars and a significant amount more than somebody who's under market, you're going to get me. If you need access, if you need things adjusted, if you need the stems, if you need me to adjust certain levels, if you need me to take certain instruments out or add certain instruments, whatever it might be, like it's a collaboration as a producer. But a lot of times the people who sell their stuff, they're not really producers, they're more beat makers, because they don't see it as a collaboration. They just see it as a chance to just get money. And that's fine. If you want to get money, get money. You know what I'm saying? But recognize as an artist, that's what you're going to get. You know what I mean? I definitely want to make sure that I read a couple of comments, and shout out to Ron Eyes, my man Ron Eyes 31 on the check-in on Instagram, my man Tavon KC on the check-in. Appreciate you for tapping in. I want to read a couple of these comments. P31 Rose Glow on Instagram. She says, if they don't want to break bread, let them use their last $2 on a jukebox play. Love you, my brother. I appreciate you so much for that comment. Exactly. And I'm glad you said that, because it's going to tie to basically what my final thoughts are going to be about this song. But I don't want to give it away just now. But thank you so much for that comment. Lady Crawley said quality versus quantity. Exactly. That's what it boils down to. Whether you're talking about, you know, y'all know me, I quote that all the time. What's more important to you as an artist? What's more important to you as a producer? Do you want to sell more beats and make, you know, a little $10 here, $25 there? Or do you want to make quality beats? Do you want to put your all into one beat that you know somebody gets, they're not going to be able to deny? They need that beat. You know what I'm saying? Not just, oh, it just sounds good. You know what I'm saying? I might be able to do this. No, I feel like as a producer, you have to make something that people have to have, that it ends up being a bidding war over that beat. Because it's like, oh my gosh, this joint is so fire, I gotta have it. Who has it? When people start asking who has it, that's how you know that joint fire. But then other joints is like, I probably know nobody got that joint, so like, let me go ahead and take that one. You know what I mean? So that's really where it is with that. But let me fast forward. Let me move a little bit ahead. I'm trying to think. Okay, so I said small piece of cheese to take a trap beat when I done already laughing twice in the track meet. I'm not against being stingy. I'm not against being thrifty, but ninjas being stingy, saying bruh, I need it quickly. Got the nerve to be picky, paying only $3.50. Not to mention that the missus want to kiss me, but I'm busy and she's pissed, B. Now let me put a pin in the whole, not to mention that the missus want to kiss me. I'm gonna put a pause in that one right there. Bid war beats, exactly, P31 Rose Glow, exactly. But the whole thing, like I have experienced as a producer, a lot of times people they'll want something for free, or they'll want something for the low. But then it's like, okay, depending on who it is, it's like, all right, I'll work with you. But then like when you flow them some joints, or it could be a joint like you really worked hard on, then all of a sudden they want to be picky, like, I don't know if I like that one. You know what I'm saying? Oh, that one's cool, but can you do this? And blah, 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 blah. I'm like, hold on, Slim. You not paying me enough to be as picky as you are. You know what I mean? You just not. And shout out to MV1010 on the check-in on Instagram. Thank you so much for tuning in, Queen. Breaking down track number 5 from my Late Bloomer 2 EP, What Can $10 Get Me, featuring my homie 900 Supreme, aka K9. But yeah, you're not paying me enough to be as picky as you're being. And it's not to say that you can't have a say-so in the final product, or that you should just take the scraps that you get. But my thing is, I don't give scraps. As a producer, because let me draw that line in the sand. I don't look at myself as a beat maker. I was a beat maker at 20, 21, 22. I'm a producer at 43 years old. I know how to produce a record. I know how to listen to an artist and tell, okay, this is going to work with their style. This is not. Take some instruments out, maybe add another instrument in that frames their voice better. Like, I've learned that art a whole lot more. I'm not saying I've mastered it. Because I feel like once you master something, you should move on to the next thing. And I don't feel like I've mastered production. I'm good at it. Great at it, let me tell it. But I'm not even close to where I want to be as a producer. So I have not mastered it. But I know what I know at the end of the day. And so for me, it's like, if you asking for something for free, and I'm working my hardest to do what I can to make the best possible product for you, and you being picky about it, and you being selective, super duper selective, it's like, yeah, like, I'm gonna need you to pay me a little bit more for my time if you're gonna sit there and be picky about it. Just saying. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my big sis Joy on the check-in, Joyful Connections Life Coaching on the check-in on Instagram. Appreciate you as always for supporting my brother Night Train 357 on the check-in on Instagram. Thank you so much for tuning in, my brother, breaking down track number 5, What Can $10 Get Me, from the Late Bloomer 2 EP. All right, so moving ahead. So the line that I put a pin in, I have to talk about this. Not to mention that the missus wanna kiss me, but I'm busy and she's pissed, B. And I ain't getting paid, she done had enough. Not a mathematics fan still trying to add it up. Not when half of these rappers seem to only yap a bucks. Shouldn't equal out to 0 when you carry more than one. Like, let's start at the beginning of that. Hey, hold on. Really though, said, you'd hate me, bro. I'm picky as about the beat. And look, I don't mind picky. But what you not finna do, and I would say this to anybody, what you not finna do is be super picky, but asking for something for free. Now, if you're paying me, you can be as picky as you want because you're paying me. So you should get what you pay for. But if you expect me to front you a beat for free and you want to be picky, it's like, pick a struggle, dog. You know what I'm saying? That's nothing against you, really, though. I feel like the quality of music you put down, and the thing is, you have a certain kind of style that I can understand why you would be picky. You know what I'm saying? He said, oh, absolutely, I wouldn't dare. And see, that's why I respect you. You know what I'm saying? And I would do my absolute best to give you my best if you're paying me for a beat. And that's with anybody. You can be picky all you want. Now, I've had that happen. I've had people pay for beats and then they get picky. It's like, okay, well, you're paying for it. You should be. You are enlisting me to work with you. This is a collaboration. This is not a dictatorship or tyranny on either part. Not on the artist's part, not on the producer's part. As a producer, if you are truly a producer, yes, you are helping in the oversight of the final product, but you are not, you're not a tyrant about it, or you shouldn't be a tyrant about it. I know a lot of people out there have been, but I don't feel like you get the best product with an artist that you work with if whatever you say go. Because artists, because let's be clear, not everybody's an artist. A lot of people call themselves artists, but not everybody's an artist. Artists are producers in a lot of ways. Even if they don't touch a keyboard or don't, beat a drum or whatever, you don't have to do that to be a producer. To me, The best producers are visionaries at the end of the day. And I feel like if you are in a relationship to make a great song, it's give and take at the end of the day. So I feel like if you're a producer, you can't be so hell bent on whatever you see for the song that you can't listen to the artist, because you're not going to get their best over the song, and you're not going to give your best if you just keep being bullheaded about it. You know what I mean? DJ Shane said means they don't value you. That's right. Absolutely. Joy said, hey, beautiful family, thanks for the invite. Always. And shout out to my brother, Jeff Music, on the check-in on Instagram. Really, though, he said, try shooting, editing videos for people who don't want to have input. Oh, but want to be picky. You'll shoot someone. Videos are even worse. Because people, they think they have a vision for something, but they don't contribute anything to really achieving the vision. They just say, hey, here's this footage. You know what I'm saying? Make magic out of it. And then when you sit there, you work hard. Now, granted, I haven't really dealt with that, but you know, I know people who do videos and I know they've gone through it. It becomes really just a pain in the butt a lot of times, you know. Shout out to Karen Mosley on the check-in on Instagram. Appreciate you for tuning in, Queen. Joy said, when I was a hairstylist, a few clients wanted Halle Berry hair on a Family Dollar brush. Now, see, this is exactly why I did this song. This is exactly why we're having a conversation about this song, because this goes far beyond music. It goes far beyond music. People always want to lowball you when it comes to what your prices are. Knowing what your quality is in terms of the product that you do, whether it's doing hair, whether it's doing videos, whether it's producing, whether it's verses. You know what I'm saying? Like if you are, or DJing, great point, DJ Shane. People want you to DJ for $100. Come on. When's the last time a DJ charged $100? It's been at least $300 since I was like a teenager. So it's like $100? Nah. Then my man Jeff used to say Halle Berry hair with a Shanae face. This is why you gotta love the comments, y'all. This is what I live for doing this live. The comments. You don't get this pre-recorded. You know what I mean? That is priceless. And Lady Crawley said all the beauty salons got those requests too. LOL. Right. Especially at a specific time, the Halle Berry hair was the thing. Everybody wanted it, but not everybody wanted to pay top dollar for it. And frankly, not every stylist could pull it off. You know what I mean? And that's another thing. You could charge however much you want, but you got to meet the quality of whatever you're charging. You know, if you're charging low, I say go above and beyond. But if you're charging a high amount for something, you better deliver on that quality or people are going to let you know about it. That's why we always get so many of the complaints, specifically when it comes to, unfortunately, black businesses, is that a lot of times we overcharge and underdeliver. Now, it's not all the time. Let's be clear. And what I don't want to do is go down a rabbit hole of like black businesses are, trash and this. No, not all of them. You just found the wrong ones. You just got to find better ones. If you willing to try out 10 white people, you need to try to look for 10 black people. If one don't work for you, find somebody else. Don't be a lazy consumer. I will tell somebody that all day. Do not be a lazy consumer. I can't stand it. There's a responsibility as a business person, but there is a responsibility as a consumer. But that's another conversation for another day. Let's see. Joy said, yes, even my catering, they wanted to feed 50 people on a come on now, $500 budget. Yeah, that ain't enough. That ain't enough whatsoever. Really though said they got Jada Pinkett at the Oscars. Oh no, I'm not going down that rabbit hole. I'm not going down that rabbit hole. I'm not doing it. I ain't gonna say nothing to that. Kara said that's right, and it's always us. They don't want to support local businesses without a discount. That part. Stop asking for the discount. Stop doing it. It's an insult to us as business owners, especially those of us who pride ourselves on giving quality product, quality service, quality results. Please stop doing that to us. Joy said, I can create any hairstyle they want, but I don't do plastic surgery on the faces and necks. Look, a great hairstyle can make somebody, with a butter face, look, it might take them from a 2 to maybe a 5. You know what I mean? Maybe a 6 if you really good, But hey, I've seen more magic worked on a lot of situations where I'm like, how did y'all pull that one off with that person? Jeff Music said, people want shit free. What's sad is the will walk in a white man's store and pay, but want a discount from you. Exactly. That's exactly my point. Don't do us like that. You know what I mean? But going back to the comment, because I still have not addressed the comment, and I'll come back to the comments again. Not to mention that the missus want to kiss me, but I'm busy and she's pissed B. And I ain't getting paid. She done had enough. There have been so many nights that I have spent countless hours, whether it's been DJing, whether it's been producing, whether it's been writing rhymes for people, or appearing on something. No matter what, it's been something creative where somebody was required to pay me, or they should be paying me. Her whole thing has always been, look, I love you. I love what you do. But what you not finna do is be up all night when you and I could be spending time together and you're not charging people, or you charging people way too low. Like that's not finna happen. Like, I'm gonna need you to charge folks. I'm gonna need you to charge what you're worth. More than anything, I need you to charge what you're worth. That's one thing that I can always say about my wife. She has always been about me knowing my worth and operating within my worth. And so that was the importance of those lines, is that, look, when I do what I do as a creative, it's going to automatically take away attention from my family. It's going to take away attention from my personal life, because granted, it's kind of an extension of my personal life, but it's also business at the end of the day. And the thing is, if you're going to commit to this thing, you have to charge what you're worth. So your time is worth it. I always think about my business coach. Shout out to Phoebe, aka Yvonne Rivers, American Dream Business Institute. Exactly. Charge your worth, Joy. And shout out to Safari Gems and it's Mark Cooper on the check-in on Instagram. Appreciate y'all for tapping in, breaking down the last verse of my song, What Can $10 Get Me, from the Late Bloomer 2 EP. That's really the key, is you have to value your time. You have to put a price on your time because of all of the things you're sacrificing in order to build your business, in order to build your brand, whatever it is. You have to think about all of the amount of time you put into what you do. And as a producer, and Jeff Music can relate to this, Mark Cooper can relate to this, both as dope producers. And anybody else in here who's a producer can relate to this. And just anybody, period, that puts time and effort into what they do. But specifically the producers, I want to talk to y'all for a second. I spend countless hours, sometimes just listening to the groove of the beat. I might listen to one sound for like 15 minutes straight. Because I'm trying to get the frequency right. I'm trying to get the slap right. If it's a kick, I want it to kick a certain way. If it's a snare, I want it to slap a certain way. If it's a hi-hat, I don't want too much high end on it, but I don't want a small amount that it sounds muffled. It's so many things that you do. Like if I'm playing around with sounds, like I might play around with one sound, then scroll through some more sounds. That might take a half hour in and of itself, trying to scroll for the right sound. And like I might play the part out, but I might spend the next half hour listening to the right sound until I get to it. That stuff takes time if you're good at what you do, if you know what you're listening for. And I've gotten to the point where I've trained my ear that I know what I'm listening for. And because I spend this much time being as intricate, and I love that, intricate details, Joy, exactly. If I'm spending this much time fine-tuning the details, being meticulous in what I'm doing, I'm not going to charge a low price. That's a slap in the face to me and what I do. That's a slap in the face to all of the other producers out there who are putting in their time. And that's a slap in the face to my family. Because it's like, bruh, you are spending way too much time. You're spending hours working on these beats. Or you're spending hours preparing these playlists as a DJ. Or you're spending hours doing whatever it is that you're doing. And you're only getting paid how much? Nah, need you to up them prices. So it really forced me to value my time a whole lot more. Put a dollar value on my time. My time is priceless, honestly, but it forced me to put a value on my time. I want to get to a comment on, hey, what's going on? Miss B's Academy on YouTube. Appreciate you for tuning in. And she said, right, if you're stewarding, ooh, that's a great word. If you're stewarding well over your gift, then you have to get what you're worth. That's an important word, stewardship. Though, you know, my spiritual folks, y'all understand that term perfectly. When you are given something by the Most High, when you're given a gift, when you're given a talent, there's a certain expectation of you to deliver on making sure that how you steward or watch over that gift, take care of that gift, that you're getting exactly what you're worth for how you take care of that gift. Perfect word. Thank you so much for that, twin. Let's see if I got some more. Let's see. Let me go back to a couple of other comments. Joy said, I do excellent. Look, I know your quality of everything you do, so I'm already hip. Said Lady Crawley said, we got to be honest with each other. Absolutely. Jeff Music says 6 still low. For what? Put it in the comments, bro. Joy said, charge your worth. Karen said, that's right, because success is nothing if it costs everything. Ooh, that's a word right there. Joy said, money is time. Time is money. It costs to sacrifice time away from family. It costs to be you. Yes, that part. And then she also said, charge for your expertise and your knowledge, and you are paying for the fact that they can't do what you do. Exactly. You are paying me for a service that you more than likely cannot do. So why do you think that you should be able to get away with charging me the bare minimum because Billy Bob over there, they charge a certain amount? If you want Billy Bob, go get Billy Bob. I ain't Billy Bob. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I ain't coming through the joint with speakers from when the speakers fell off the truck when hip hop first got started. I ain't still got them speakers. I done paid top dollar for the speakers I got. I done paid top dollar for the equipment I got. You know what I'm saying? Whether you talking about DJing, whether you talk about producing, whether you talking about this platform, all this equipment that I got right here, you talking about at least $1,000 worth of equipment, at least. You know what I mean? So like, and the thing is, I don't even charge people to be on, you know, any of my platforms. I don't really believe in that. Now, when I did like album reviews and stuff like that, that's different. But for somebody to come and share and, you know, put their art out there for the world, it's like, I don't believe in charging for those types of things. But then there are other things that I feel like you can make money off of, and you should charge what it's worth. Simple and plain, you know what I'm saying? Really though said, I've seen dudes throw their dreams away because I charged them $20. Powerful. And that's 20. That's crazy. 20. And they weren't willing to pay that. You know, that's wild. Shout out to my brother ADST Music on a check-in. Appreciate you for tapping in, brother. I know you somebody who can relate to this conversation about charging what you're worth. You know, as somebody who's a producer, as somebody who has a multimedia company, you know what I'm saying? Like, we've had these discussions before. I already know the quality of the work that you do, whether you're a producer or whether you are PRing for somebody, like high quality. So I can only imagine some stories of people trying to lowball you, bro. You know what I mean? But fast forward, and after the line where I say, and I ain't getting paid, she done had enough. Now the mathematics fan still trying to add it up. Not when half of these rappers seem to only yap a bucks. She shouldn't equal out to zero when you carry more than one. You know what I mean? And the thing is, it's like, yeah, a lot of rappers want to hold the money phones to their ears, want to brag about how much money they got, But when it's time, and y'all seen the memes, y'all seen all the things on social media where people like, look, you can't sit there and keep rapping about all this money and counting all these dollars in these videos and acting like you got it like that. You know, we know that the money's fake at the time, but still, don't show a certain lifestyle if you not really about that lifestyle. You know what I mean? Like, don't even play like that, because people, you are prey to predators first and foremost. And if I see you bragging about all the money you got or throwing out all the money that you got, I'm gonna look at you like, oh, okay, you trying to lowball me for how much? And how many dollars did I see in that video you just posted? What? You say what? You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, don't do that to me. Don't play me like that. You know what I mean? Shout out to my brother, Illville, the producer, on the check-in on Instagram. Always appreciate you. Another fellow producer who could probably relate to this conversation. And it really does say it. And damn near every damn song is about money. Exactly. Every damn song is about money, but you don't want to pay. Come on, what you doing? You know what I mean? Don't do that. MV1010 said facts. Joy said exactly. I'm telling y'all, you know, like, look, I am speaking from pure experience here, you know, and we gonna get even specific with this experience. I'm not gonna name names, but the next couple of lines, we're not on carry more than one. Dollars to photographers, engineers, barkeeps, and club promoters. Some new Jordans, but nobody showing love to Joseph. I mean, a 10 would have been as cool. Ain't worth the table scraps. Dog, guess I've been a fool. First and foremost, when I wrote that line, ain't worth the table scraps. Dog, guess I've been a fool. I was like, bruh. I might be all right at this whole rapping thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, been a fool, like the dog food. Anybody who, you know what I'm saying, know they dog food, got dogs, you know, watch dog commercials. I ain't got a dog, but it's like, hey, you know, I thought that was a great place to put that bar right there. But this is something I've literally watched happen over and over again. And it's not even just one specific artist. I've seen multiple artists do this. Whereas they have money to pay photographers because, look, photographer ain't gonna give you just, you know, the low price of $3.99. Engineers ain't gonna just give you the low price of $3.99 unless they your homies. And a lot of time, the homie discount, you're not gonna get the best product for the homie discount. A lot of times, I'm just keeping it real, you know. You can't expect to, especially in this area where promoters are always charging artists to perform. But bottom line is, you want to get on a bill, you got to pay and you got to sell tickets. So you are paying to play because you want to be on that show so bad, you're willing to pay that. You walk into the studio with a brand new pair of Jordans. You pay all of these different people. But then when it comes to the producer, all of a sudden, the person that is helping to frame your sound, the person that without the producer, you are basically doing acapellas. Who wants to hear an album full of acapellas unless you a singer? I personally don't want to hear an album full of acapella rap. That's just me. I don't know about anybody else, but I don't want to hear that. I know more people who would rather listen to an album full of instrumentals than an album full of acapellas. But it's not the artist or the rapper to say, oh, you know, the producer is more important than the rapper. No, they're both important. But you have to treat the producer as if they are one of the most important parts of your product, because without the producer, you don't have a product. But the producer is often the person who gets undercut the most. And to watch somebody spend all of this money, peel off all of these bills to all these different people, but they won't do it to you. At the end of the day, that's why I say it's my fault. Should have taught him how to treat me. Gave it to him. Like that, you really start to see your way. but I get undercut. No, I'm charging. And if you don't like the fact that I'm charging, you aren't my target audience. You aren't my client. That's another thing that my business coach told me or taught me. If you are not willing to pay my price, you are not my client. My prices are for my clients. And that goes for any business owner out there. If you know the quality of the work that you sell or the quality of the product that you sell, don't let anybody undercut that. Your price is your price. That's it. There's no going back and forth. There's no discussion. Now, I might work with somebody, which is why I say, let's see, Dr. King Steve turn the cheek, let him beat me, but no more. You can't even sneak peek my weak beast. I'm with a trade or some bartering. So the thing is, if we're trading something that's of equal value, then I have no problem with not charging. Like, for example, if I'm doing a beat for you, but yet I do a song and I want a verse from you. Like, okay, I'll trade you a beat for a verse. That's, as far as I'm concerned, that's an even exchange. You know what I mean? Like, if that's the agreement. But it has to be something that's of value to both people at the end of the day. That's how the barter system works. But a lot of times people don't even want to do that. They just want to come away what they come away with and leave you holding the bag. I'm not about that. Again, I'm 43 years old. I went through a lot of that stuff in my 20s. I went through it for a part of my 30s, and then I got to a point where it's like, no, I'm not doing that anymore. I work too hard. I put way too much effort into what I do to let somebody undercharge me, especially if I've already told you what my price is. Like, dog, you know my price. I'm not, you're not gonna haggle me. It's like the Progressive commercial. I think it's Progressive. With the dude who be trying to keep people, new homeowners, from becoming their parents. And the dude like, I wonder how much I could get this book for. He's like, remember what I said about haggling? I swear I want to take that little piece and put that in a song when it comes to like, my price is my price. You know what I mean? Man, I'll try to tell you, but I want to read some of these comments that so many people, y'all rolling in with the comments, and I appreciate everybody for tapping in. Payday Borrower on the check-in. Thank you so much for tuning in. My man Narcissist, my man Gifted 202, my man John Hands on the check-in, also on Instagram. Appreciate all of y'all for tapping in. Let's go. I'm gonna go to the YouTube comments first. So Miss B's Academy says, when God gives you increase, don't raise your limit, increase your giving. I love that. Absolutely. She also says the worship portion of the service opens heaven so the word can be received. So the beats need to be paid for so the word can come correct. Words are seeds. That part. Exactly. People are not going to easily receive words unless they have music to it. That's just really how music, period, works. You know what I mean? Like I said, people will buy instrumentals before they'll buy acapellas. Just saying. Let me see. Let me make sure I catch every comment. So ADST, he said he had a couple of comments. So he said, but here's the reality. There are more beat makers than fans a lot of times. People devalue their work, especially if we're talking about leasing. Yes, they absolutely do. People prey on artists. I laugh at them when they try to do that. That's real. That's real right there. Let's see. Joy says, I used to tell my cheap clients, you can't even get a hello from me. I'm not even mad at that. And Joyce also said, and my white clients paid me double because, ooh, they don't want that true. And my white clients paid me double because I'd have them looking outstanding. See, we ain't gonna get into that conversation again, because I'm trying to tell you, I done had experiences when Crayola peach colored people, when they'll not only pay you what you're worth, but pay you more. Now, it's not to say that I haven't had, clients of our community pay me well. Actually, some of my best clients have looked like us, like pay me way more than what I was expecting. But a lot of times, I hate to say it, but white folks are way more willing to pay us for what we are worth than our own people. And it's sad. It should never be the case. We should always be the first in line to pay what somebody is worth. That could branch into a whole conversation about why our music is struggling, or why we struggle with support within our community for certain music, but the BS keeps getting supported. That's because a lot of times it's not just us that supports it, it's them that supports it. But that's another conversation for another day. Let's see, ADSC said, I think that's the journey to learn value. Absolutely. Really though said, the producer is hired imagination. You can't pay to install creativity in your brain. Pay the producer. My brother, man, that is it. I love that. The producer is hired imagination. Again, it goes back to the whole thing. I think Joy said it. They're paying you for what they can't do. So you gotta charge. Or if you are the consumer, you're paying somebody for something you can't do. Don't slap them in the face by trying to undercut what they do. Just stop. At the end of the day, Narcissus said, yesterday's price is not today's price. Man, let me tell you, as I've been talking, that has been the quote in my head the entire time. Absolutely. ADSC said, and also don't pay to be on these mixtapes because that's bogus too. Yeah, that's a whole nother rabbit hole that I wholeheartedly agree with. Joy says, you're not going to tell me about the 6 pairs of shoes you just bought and nickel and dime me. No way. That's right. Not a barter. Now, in those cases, yes. Those cases, yes. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not bartering with somebody that I know has it or brags about it. I'm only going to barter with somebody I know is on the same level as me. They're trying to come up. They're not bragging about money. They're not acting like they got a whole bunch of money, but they have something of value that I need. I have something of value that they need. Then I will entertain a barter. And I'm glad that you brought that up, because you have to be very discerning about who you barter with. You can't barter with everybody. You have to be very wise in selecting who you barter with. Jeff Music said, the youngins have messed up the producers getting paid. All these press cats putting their shit online has killed that game. I have to get 1K to lease tracks no more. Thanks, trappers. Yeah, you know, like the thing is, it's like, yeah. And see, what's interesting, Jeff Music, I can stamp that he's somebody that whatever he charges for his music, he can do that because the quality is there. I have sat with this brother, watched him create stuff. I mean, he's an incredible musician. If I were an artist and I didn't know him from a can of paint and I heard his work, I wouldn't, whatever he said his price was, like, okay, cool, got you. But that's when you respect a producer as an artist. When you respect a producer, as my man Really though said, hired imagination. When there's the respect level there, and when you lay down the respect, that's the key thing. That's why I said, should have taught him how to treat me. You gotta teach people how to treat you. As an artist, as an entrepreneur, as a producer, as a DJ, whatever you do, as a caterer, as a hairstylist, no matter what it is that you do, as a video editor, as a videographer, whatever it is that you do, a photographer, you have to teach people how to treat you, and it starts with putting your foot down about your prices at the end of the day. ADSC said, can you resist the temptation of standing on your principles? That's a great question. And that's why you have to get to a certain part at a certain point as a producer, artist, entrepreneur, whatever that you do. And he said, it took me 5 years to really make money in music. And a lot of times, unfortunately, that's how it is. I always think of something, and I always quote him, Gerard Street Garvey. He had an episode of Grind Season Radio on Win DC where he said, it often takes at least 4 years for something that you are building to really start seeing a profit, you start seeing some movement, because think about it. Governors, presidents, mayors, 4 years. You have to, because In those situations, you have to weed out all of the old stuff that didn't work from the last administration, and you have to make it work within your administration. So you're playing clean up with the last one if, you know, they weren't doing what they were supposed to do, while trying to implement what it is that you're trying to do on your end. You know, if you're a coach in basketball, football, whatever sport, you're cleaning up the mess from the last coach who more than likely got fired, and you're trying to bring a winning philosophy, winning attitude, winning formula to this team. And a lot of times you need 3 or 4 years for your program to take, for it to really take. Y'all think Bill Belichick, think about somebody like Bill Belichick. Y'all think Bill Belichick was successful off the rip? Y'all think Phil Jackson was successful off the rip when they got their first head coaching jobs? No, it took them a while. A lot of people forget Bill Belichick was a coach of the Cleveland Browns. They were not a really good, they had the pieces, but they didn't do really well. And then when he got his next opportunity with, you know, one of his next opportunities with the Patriots, it took him a while even with the Patriots. That wasn't no overnight success. There was a lot of work being put in. But once you put the work in, once you build the expertise, once you know what works for you and what doesn't, you keep what works, you throw out what doesn't. And if you have to bring in even more things that work even better, you continue to add pieces. You got to get paid what you're worth for being able to be that wise to be able to see that. You know what I mean? Let's see. Really though said, Jesus also said to render unto Caesar what belongs to Caesar. Give me my money. Right, exactly. Joy says they don't badger you for a hookup. Yeah, like that ain't gonna happen. Lady Crawley said it's hard to work with the community and be paid by the community with some of us. That's real. Jeff Music said be careful praising them. They the reason why a lot of us ever got compensated for music don't get lost, because the pay they pay chips, but they don't give what was owed. Now, yes, I agree. That's why I'm very careful of that, because a lot of times, even when they pay, it comes with a cost. And sometimes the cost of what it comes with doing business with them is even more expensive than doing business with our own people. So I definitely feel you on that. John has said, if we give poison, why are we mad? You got to explain that with a little bit more for me, bro, because it's a good comment. I'm just trying to put some context on it. Joy said, paying for our skill. Shane said, as soon as I hear from a client, so my brother, here comes over. Yeah, unfortunately. Narcissist said the producer is the trusted professional. Artists need the producer because the producer is going to give input and make the artist better. Beat makers just make beats and that's it. That's right. That's the key thing between a beat maker and a producer. Producer is going to give input. It's a collaboration on a vision. And whether that vision starts with the producer, whether that vision starts with the artist, either way, there has to be a meeting of the minds, and there has to be input from both sides, because I don't feel like a producer should be a tyrant. I don't feel like the artist should be a tyrant. I think it should be a meeting in the middle, because when it's a meeting in the middle, you hear it in the final product. Shout out to Slickster on the check-in on Instagram. Thank you so much for tuning in. So the producer should be compensated for correctly. Absolutely. John Hansden said, nah, bro. I need some context to some of these comments, because I'm not following some of these comments, because I definitely want to. Okay, now we're not gonna do that. Yeah, we definitely not gonna do that, y'all. If y'all, yeah, I'm not even gonna address that. Jeff Music said the problem now is no more budgets, not a lot to pay out anymore. The 100K for a hit is over. Yeah. Unfortunately, Joy said, plus they don't realize they are paying for your equipment, your electricity at your home or studio, the paper you write on, etc. Exactly. That's what you're paying for. You're not just paying for the quality of what I do. You're paying for the equipment to produce what I do as well. If I had some, Joe Blow audio interface from like 1999 still trying to produce beats in 2022, like how great of a product are you going to get? Or if I'm operating on a Mac computer from like 2004 with the box monitors. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they might have been like 02, whenever them box monitors were when they had them joints. But the point is, I'm not giving you what I'm giving you on old equipment or outdated equipment or not top of the line equipment. Like, you're getting what you're getting on top of the line equipment. You know, like, I'm spending my money to give whoever I'm working with the best they possibly can get. So you're not going to undercut me or shortchange me. It's not going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. I'm gonna go through some of these comments. Shout out to my brother I am Shells on the check-in on Instagram. Appreciate you for tapping in. But yeah, so let me see. Wrong matter what you use now because the quality is bounced down to MP3. Yeah, but at the same time, if you doing stuff and like you're doing it in the studio, now granted, yeah, it's on MP3, but if you taking your stems to the studio as waves, if you got a certain, and I mean, you're the main one. We have these conversations all the time about certain converters and all of that stuff. Like, it still matters. You can hear the difference when somebody has certain converters versus when somebody doesn't. You know what I mean? And when they know what they're doing on the engineering side, but it still starts on the production side. Like, it's better to have the best that you can possibly have so that you make the engineer's job easier once you get everything to them. So I definitely, you know what I'm saying? I feel you, but I also feel like there still should be a level of quality there. You know what I'm saying? But to your point about how a lot of times, there are people who kind of sort of, the newer crop, they do things on the cheap and they kind of sort of skip around all of that stuff because, you know, they're not trying to spend all of that money. You know what I'm saying? He said, I'm saying stuff is all good now. Technology is caught up. Nah, not with VST. Yeah, I do agree. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of quality stuff out here. It's a lot of quality stuff that you can get on the cheap. I definitely agree with that. I'm just saying for myself, I spend a certain amount of money on equipment that I use to produce my beats. I'm not charging $10. Like, you're not gonna get my beat for $10. Not even on a lease. Not happening. I'm trying to think, what else do I want to attack from this song? So I say, shouldn't have to waive any place for the offering. By the way, you don't get to name what the offer is. Take it and respect it, or you need not remain where my office is. This actually comes from something my wife said. Something else my wife said is, you can't let people tell you what your price is. If you lay down a price, that needs to be the price. And that's it. In a discussion. If you're gonna come down on your terms, not on their terms. But when they start trying to beat you down for the price, they start trying to haggle you, then they have control of the negotiations. And as the entrepreneur, as a person who's leading the negotiations, you have to always maintain control in that situation. You know what I mean? So that's where that line comes from. I'm trying to think. Then I say after that, you know, I remain with my offices. I'm a business man. Don't offend this man with intentions. Pass on them dividends, but ask for some benefits. But mad when you're missing from the plans. Unless your signature is cash, I'm illiterate. That line alone. Unless your signature is cash, I'm illiterate. I don't read nothing else. I don't recognize nothing else except respect me, respect what I do enough to offer. Now, if I decide to give you a discount, or if I decide to give you the beat for free, cool, that's fine. But what's not fitting to happen is that you're gonna come to my place of business or my table and think that you're gonna tell me what my price is, or you're gonna tell me that you're not gonna pay, or what can I get for free, or what can I get for $10. Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. I'm trying to think. It's just cash. I'm illiterate. Not a desperate man like the rest in the land. Mad press for that secondhand mess. I don't even need to say the last line. The last line is just funny because it say, just to show you I don't mean to be rude, dog. What can $10 get? Well, I got a real mean kazoo, dog. If you think you're going to pay me $10 for something, like that's your offer. You're coming to my table saying, I got $10. What can you do for me? Boom. My kazoo is mean. That thing can get you something nice. But what you not finna do is come to my table and think, oh, I only got $10. Okay, go to somebody that will be willing to take your $10. That's not me. And it's no slap in the face. It's no knock. But it's just to say I've put in too many years doing what I do that I'm not going to let anybody tell me that you are only worth this much. And that's the key thing. I could say more, but I'm not addressing any of that. But anyway, I am going to address it. I'm going to address it because I'm going to be honest with both of y'all. This is not that platform for that. This is a platform. Any platform that I do is rooted and grounded in peace. And for this to be happening on my Instagram live is very disappointing. It's very disappointing. And that's all I'm going to say about it. If y'all feel how y'all feel about each other, y'all need to take that off my live. Seriously. Please don't make me kick both of y'all out. I respect y'all brothers, but that beef y'all got going on, y'all need to take that somewhere else. If y'all can't be in the live and all of that, yeah, I don't have time for that. Like seriously. Like I ain't gonna hold you. That actually pisses me off. That actually pisses me off because anybody who come on my live know this does not go on my live. And the fact that I gotta address this, I ain't feeling that. Anyway, so back to it. He said kazoo. Exactly. You get the bruh man discount. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you want to pay me like bruh man or treat me like bruh man? Boom, you get the bruh man jump. But I didn't even mean to make this as long as it's been. It's just been a lot of good conversation. And then I knew that there were a lot of bars in this last verse. And I was trying to like cut down as many of them as I possibly could. But it was great conversation. Great responses and everything. But the bottom line is what this song really says at the end of the day, because this is any song that I do. Yes, it's about my story, but it's to really drive a point home for those who can relate to my story. Is that everybody has been at a place. If you're an entrepreneur, if you're somebody who's making money, and especially if this is not your main hustle or if this is not your main job, everybody has dealt with the person who's trying to undercut them. Everybody. But you get to a point where it's like, I know what I'm worth. And you have to pay me what I'm worth. If not, then what I'm doing is not for you. You hear a lot of times people talk about knowing your target audience as an artist. And the mistake that a lot of people make is that people will say, oh, everybody, I want to market my music to everybody. Nope. Try again. Try again. Because everybody isn't going to like what you do. Everybody isn't going to feel like what you have to say or the art that you make is worth their money. And that's fine. Somebody, you might charge $10 for a CD, $15 for a CD, $20 for a CD, still in 2022. You know what I mean? Thank you, my brother Chels. I'm going to pin that comment right now. I appreciate that. Thank you, my brother. Yes, if you want to support anything that I'm doing, go to my website, BAMMLLC.net. Once again, that's BAMMLLC.net. I appreciate that. See, that's when people understand the assignment, you know. But yeah, the thing is, it's like I didn't spend too much time going through what I've been going through to get better. Whether you've gone through certain training, whether you've just taken the bumps and the bruises that comes with paying your dues, no matter what it is. But if you continue to have an attitude of, I want to ascend to the highest heights, I want to be as top notch at what I do, be one of the best at what I do out of everybody out of the field, then there has to be compensation for that. You know, a lot of times people want to, like, I'm all for doing things out of love. I'm all for it. I have no problem with doing things out of love. But at the same time, I can do it out of love and still get paid for it at the same time. I love doing music. But what I'm not finna do is, like, especially if I don't know you and you already trying to come at me trying to get something for free or get something for mad cheap because somebody else is selling it that way. It's like, I'm not them. I'm not them. And this is what I was trying to get to. You have to know who your target audience is as an entrepreneur. You have to go and actively, aggressively find those people who are willing to pay your price, who will not try to say, oh, can you do it for this amount? They're not your audience. They're not your clients. They're not the people that are going to keep you in business. They're not the people that are going to help you get to that next level, because the people that are undercut you are trying to keep you at this level. Whereas the people willing to pay your price and will even call you to the carpet and say, why are you only charging this amount? I've had so many people come to me and say, why are you only charging this much for what you're doing? I'm like, you think I should charge more? They like, hell yeah, you should charge more. Like, this is nowhere near enough. I've had people tell me that, and based on that feedback, I'm like, okay, you're right. I've had conversations with my wife. I've had conversations with my business coach about my prices. And based on those conversations, that's when it's good to have wise counsel. That's why wise counsel is important. Based on those conversations, I adjusted my prices accordingly. And you have to do that, because you spend too much time doing whatever it is that you do at being great to charge pennies. So I challenge anybody out there that's watching this live, that's watching this on a replay. I challenge anybody out there. Take some time. Think about what it is that you do great. Like, great. Not just good, not just average, great. Because God gave each and every last one of us a gift. And it's a matter of you walking in that greatness. And when you walk in that greatness, when you understand exactly who you are and whose you are, don't let me start preaching, y'all. But you understand exactly whose you are, you already know there's a certain value on who you are and what you do, that you can't insult yourself, your family, or the Most High by only charging like a small amount just because of whatever reason. Know your worth. And it doesn't have to be money. It's not always about money. Knowing your worth could be about time. It could be about energy. It could be about whatever it is. Whatever you put a value on, or whatever you value the most, you make sure that you get exactly what you deserve. That you speak it over yourself. You speak it over your business. And you don't let anybody talk you out of that. And that's all I got. And I appreciate you for riding with me with this conversation. I want to read this comment. Miss B's Academy said, you aren't for everybody, so why would your calling be for... Ooh. Come on, sis. Come on. Talk to him. Tell him something. That's what I'm talking about. You aren't for everybody, so why would your calling be for everybody? Exactly. It's not for everybody. That's why I kind of like with my man Uptown XO, AB the Pro, they whole ELU movement. Everybody ain't like us. That's why I respect that movement, because everybody is not like you. You are a one of one. Get that again. You are a one of one. Nobody can do what you do like you do it because God made you that way. He don't make copies. So why be a copy? Why copy off of somebody else? Just because that's the wave, just because that's the trend. If you know that what you got is only you can provide it, you got to charge accordingly. You know what I mean? I'm gonna run back some of these comments. Let me see. Joy said, I love learning all this music stuff. Hell, I may start rapping. Hey, if you need some beats, holla at me. Jeff Music said, you won't even like your own stuff. Man, that's a whole nother conversation. You won't even like your own stuff sometimes. What's crazy is a lot of times us as producers, when we deal with artists, they always pick the beats that we are not that crazy about. You know what I mean? And I feel like ADST, I think you said something about that when we had a conversation with you about your new single, New Horizon, and how Soul City, I don't know if he didn't like the beat, but he was like, you like that one? Like, it just happens that way a lot of times. You know, people hear what they hear and they gravitate toward it because they hear a quality in it. They hear a value in it. You know what I mean? But that, again, that's another conversation for another day. Really though said, I learned to produce and mix doing stuff for free out of love. It's got its ups and downs. Exactly. I feel like we all did. I definitely did. But after a while, it's like, all right, I can't be doing stuff for the free. Especially if I'm single, look, I'm still charging if I were single. But because I'm married and I got a son, like, you taking time away from me and my family, but yet you don't want to pay me? Yeah, nah. Not happening. Shane said, let the church say amen. Absolutely. We are masterpieces. Thank you for that, Joy. Shane also said, your fingerprint can't be duplicated. Come on now. Y'all preaching good out here. Joy said, everybody don't understand our calling, and guess what? They don't have to get it. They sure don't. Because it's our individual calling. It's for us to understand. Jeff Music said, that's the biggest topic, not sounds like everyone else, and that is few and far between. You are one of the most authentic cats, and I appreciate you, and I definitely feel the same way about you, my brother. Like, don't nobody do drums and percussion and bass lines like my man Jeff Music. You know what I'm saying? I am Chelsea said, gotta roll. Great work, brother. Peace, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. Definitely always appreciate y'all. Great, and thank you so much for that live, bringing me in on that live earlier. That was a great conversation about couples therapy. Man, if y'all not tapped in with my brother Chels, I am Chels X on Instagram. He always has great conversations going, like every single day, you know. So definitely make sure that y'all tap in with him, you know. But yeah, if you don't have this EP that I've been talking about for the last couple of months now, like it's almost been 3 months I've been talking about this EP, The Late Bloomer 2, which features What Can $10 Get Me, featuring my homie K9, aka 900 Supreme. Please make sure that you hit up the digital streaming platforms if you're a streaming person, except Spotify. That's the only one I'm not on, but everywhere else I'm there. This is my thing. If you're going to stream, I prefer purchases. I always prefer purchases. But if you're going to stream, this is what I ask. Listen to the songs in full. If you want to add all of them to a playlist, if you want to add your favorite ones to a playlist, doesn't matter. Add it to a playlist. Keep the joints in rotation. And make sure, again, listen to the songs in full. Those streams, those quality streams matter for those of us who are independent artists. So please make sure that when you support through streams, that's how you do it. And I definitely appreciate everybody who's been streaming the music and everything. And shout out to my brother across the pond, MF Vandal, on a check-in. Definitely appreciate you, my brother, for tapping in. And yes, if you want to purchase the project, you can go to my website. That is actually pinned. It's actually pinned on my Instagram, but for my YouTube folks, it's scrolling across the bottom of the screen. BAMMLLC.net. If you want to be specific, BAMMLLC.net/music. But you can go to the homepage and get to the project from there. You can actually get to both of my projects, Late Bloomer 1 and Late Bloomer 2, and purchase. I love purchases. I love people buying the projects. We don't have to wait for streaming little pennies that we get, because we don't get a whole lot from streams unless you somebody like Drake, and even somebody like Drake would probably prefer to get outright album sales. Everybody would prefer to get outright album sales, but we're appreciative as artists, period, however we get the support, but I prefer purchasing. Now, if you want 4 bonus tracks that you're not going to get anywhere else, excuse me, 4 bonus tracks you're not going to get anywhere else, make sure that you go to my Bandcamp page, which is ajthrowback.bandcamp.com. Once again, that's ajthrowback.bandcamp.com. I missed promoting Bandcamp Friday last Friday. It's been so much going on that I completely overlooked Bandcamp Friday, but I think Bandcamp Friday will be coming back. I got to remember what's the first Friday. Oh, January 6th. That should be the first Friday in January. But until then, definitely hit my Bandcamp page up if you want those 4 bonus tracks. And I appreciate everybody who's been supporting this entire year. You know, this is a blessing of a year. And I'm so grateful for everybody who's been supporting my music, who's been watching these watching these episodes of the Maximum Sentence. This is something that I did because I wanted to kind of sort of expand the conversation a little bit more behind my lyrics and give people who haven't listened to my songs even more incentive, because these are layered conversations about songs that are only about 4 minutes. You know what I'm saying? This is, you talking about an hour and 16 minutes and counting about a verse, about a 40-bar verse. I think it's 40 bars in that verse. Yeah, I went in. I did Biggie numbers on that verse. You know what I mean? But I definitely appreciate everybody for the support on both YouTube as well on Instagram. Y'all like switching to this live format. Like I said earlier, this has been one of the biggest blessings to this platform, and I'm so appreciative of everybody for just the love, the genuine love that y'all show each and every single time. I want to read some of these comments. My man MF Vandal said, "Big up AJ, appreciate you." He said, "Always bringing the bangers. Buy that support, cause people, we on the hustle out here. Ain't no advances." That's right. Ain't no advances. We are the advances. We are responsible for generating our own advances. You know what I mean? Shane said, "Bro, your IG live so hot, you need security." High vibrations only. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And I appreciate that. And MF Vandal said, "You doing big things, AJ." I definitely appreciate it, my brother. You know what I mean? But actually, and hopefully, next Sunday, I need to talk to her, but I may be having my first conversation with an artist about their music. Now, before I've brought on people to discuss their verses on my songs, but every now and then I'm going to open this platform up to artists about their music. So I am scheduled to have a conversation with Sunshine Art Therapy. She's an artist out of New York. Dope artist, you know what I'm saying? Like, she's a graphic artist, and she actually, does, like, she actually raps and all of that good stuff. And I mean, like, I just love the energy that she brings with her music. So my hope is to have her, we're going to do a pre-recording and then hopefully air it next Sunday at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time right here on YouTube. It won't be on Instagram, but it'll definitely be on my YouTube channel because, like I said, it's pre-recorded. So, but that will be one of the last Maximum Sentence episodes of the year and also of the season, because season 2 will be starting, I want to say, January 22nd. That's going to be the first episode of season 2 of the Maximum Sentence. My man Jeff Music said, "You got more lines than Verizon." All right, now you try to challenge me for them bars, brother. I definitely appreciate that, man. And Shane said, "Awesome job, brother. I appreciate you." Lady Crawley said, "Beautiful." I definitely appreciate you. And yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this thing up, man, because I've been running my mouth long enough. And honestly, I'm hungry, I'm tired, and I want to see what the rest of that Monday night game is hitting on, because the Saints was kind of taking it to the Buccaneers when I last turned it off. So I want to see what that score is. But anyway, I appreciate everybody for tuning in on both platforms, on YouTube and on Instagram. I love each and every last one of y'all. You have been watching The Maximum Sentence with yours truly, AJ Throwback. Oh, and how could I forget? I'm tripping. Y'all see me with the merch on. You see the batch hat. You see the late t-shirt. We ain't gonna start on them Cowboys, bro. We not doing that. Y'all look good though. Y'all scary. I'm not gonna fake. Y'all are scary right about now. Like, y'all get cooking and stop playing around in the playoffs. Yeah, y'all a problem. But we'll talk football afterwards. But y'all see me with the merch. See the Batch Dad hat with the old gold. You see the late t-shirt, the GSP late t-shirt. So much more merch that you can find on my website, bammllc.net/shop batch. Once again, that's bammllc.net/shop batch. I got hoodies now. I got sweatshirts. I do have sweatshirts. I got sweatpants now. I got snapbacks. I'm about to bring the beanies out because it's starting to get cold. So I'm about to have beanies on the website. So I'm about to start adding more merch to the site real soon. So y'all definitely stay tuned for that, and appreciate everybody who's been supporting the merch as well. Yeah. So, and if you want to follow me across the board on social media, on Instagram, TikTok, that's a.j.throwback. On Facebook, Twitter, it is AJ Throwback. And on YouTube, it is AJ Throwback 928. Once again, AJ Throwback 928. I'm gonna hook you up, bro. I got you, bro. Just let me know your size, and I got you. You know what I'm saying? Somebody, and I'm paying. You ain't order it yet. Somebody, and I'm paying. You ain't order it. You gotta order it. I just sent you the website, man. Come on. I do, man. That's my guy, though. That is my guy. But anyway, but yeah, appreciate everybody for all of your support. This has been The Maximum Sentence with yours truly, AJ Throwback, where there's conviction behind the bars. Until next time, I want y'all to enjoy the rest of y'all week. Enjoy your weekend that's coming up. And hopefully I will see y'all next Sunday for another episode of The Maximum Sentence. Y'all take care, be blessed, stay peaceful, all that good stuff. Peace, y'all.